Welcome back to the Local and Regional Governments Time Network General Assembly. It's a pleasure to be here once again, and I'm really happy because we have new faces. I'm sure we will be able to know each other during this assembly. So we have a packed program for this hour and a half we have together. And we wanted to start with an inspirational, okay. We wanted to start with an inspirational speech because, as you know, this year Strasbourg is our World Time Capital, and we wanted to hear from them what they are doing and how, you know, being a World Time Capital felt. So I would like to welcome Marina Lafay, Deputy Mayor at Strasbourg City Council and Metropolitan Councillor at Strasbourg Metropolitan Area. Welcome. Let's do Angela. Let's Angela al micro. Oh. Okay.
Thank you, and good morning to all of you. And it's always a pleasure to be here with the network in Barcelona, and sometimes also in Italy. And so for next November, it will be in Strasbourg because we have the title for 2024, the title World Capital of Time after Bolzano and before another city. You will discover it. And so I'm inviting you to come in November, the 28th and 29th November. It is the main event for this title. We organize a big event directly in Parliament after a session in direction to the new MEPs, the new Eurodeputee, to convince them to support our network, of course, but to integrate the question of right to time into the law at European level. Perhaps you don't know, but in 2010 there was a note, a report, was made by Ulrich Mückenberger, coordinated by Ulrich, in direction of the Council of Europe to motivate at European level an action in favor of the right to time. But unfortunately, it didn't go in the Parliament, so yet we would like to put the subject in the table. But we will focus on the question of right to time, but with a specific topic, the time of care. So you will, as you will see, the question was taking care for the others and taking care for themselves. The question was how to enable care, taking care of others, but without losing one's own well-being. So in this context also, we will question gender inequalities, but also the need, I said yesterday, of the children and young people, specifically the case of your caregivers. Because Strasbourg is very involved, I said yesterday, strongly in this question, the need of the children expressed by the children themselves. We have signed a UN Charter about that. And in this conjunction, there is in Strasbourg this event about time policies, and it is also for us, the purpose is also to mobilize all the European level for time policies in general, of course. But in the same time, we organize also Strasbourg City, the European Conference on Violence Against Women. And It's not directly in the parliament, but it's building next to the parliament. So if you come in Strasbourg, you can do the both, because it's two complementary network and very huge network about gender aspect and studies and so. So for this event in Strasbourg, we will invite the political level, of course, but also some experts, the caregivers associations, some think tank also at European level from Brussels, for instance, and also students, and of course, you, the network. And it's co-organized also by Tempo Territorial. I am president of Tempo Territorial, and also there is a French network, and it's more than French because there is Belgium also, so she's here. And and it's also in direction of a beginner, people who discover the subject, and also experts, because the purpose is to encourage also the politician to make some law to protect the question of cares. There was 2 years ago a strategy about that in Parliament. Study and something was written to about the caregivers and the necessity to protect the caregivers' activities. Two types of caregiver, the professional and non-professional. So it's perhaps time to go further. And I think that the whole example of what a city can do, what our territories can do or have improved, can be a good example to convince the political level to act and find solution. For instance, I see my colleague at the administration of Bogota, the care block is a very impressive program, which proves that we can act with some huge action, but sometimes also the innovation can come from very, very small action. So we will value the both. So you can see the first day, it will be more a political time, and a debate also with many people from Strasbourg, from Stuttgart, also from a think tank, and after that a reception also, because it's also very, very important to have this time together with the Hanover. The reception will be with the Hanover network about the question of violence against women. And the second day, so it will be a conference with the very known philosopher Hermann Rosa, who is a specialist about the question of deceleration. So we will make the link between that and the action of care, because sometimes care, to provide care, need to decelerate. It's a very important and civilization question. And we will focus after on the question of young caregivers and in general about the needs of the children that we provide for the children. Is it their need expressed by himself? So it will be with a psychologist, for instance, and some example from our territories, and also the Elisa Stimos from Barcelona. And if in the afternoon, you can see the program for the. We can see the program for the afternoon. In the afternoon, after the lunch, we have another debate with about the question directly about right to time, with people from company, from human resources, and also stakeholders from the representative people from a labor association. So we will have also this time, also with a little bit time with music and artists. And that's the end. And after that, you can also continue in Strasbourg. I said on Saturday there is also one day in the Hanover building next to the Parliament about for the big conference about violence against women, and also it is also the Christmas market in this period in Strasbourg, so you can stay with us. And I think it's very, very important, this subject of care, because we know the demographic evolution. We spoke about sandwich generation. I'm from this generation. My father or mother, for instance, they are baby boomer and sometimes very, very old, but I still have young children also. You have teenagers, and in the same time, you have old parents who need care. And if you have also in this situation children who have disabilities or problem of health, at the end, it will be you. You will have a problem of health, and perhaps caregivers burn out on something. So caregivers, they need to be helped. It's a perhaps common problem on all the country in Europe. This demographic evolution is well known and must be anticipated in our policy. And I think also it's perhaps in a certain way, sometimes policies. We have to think and to act in short term, in middle term, and long term. And as politician, I see, as national level, or European level, or local level, it's very rare today to program something at long term. But it is an example that, for this case of problematic, the question of care, it's necessary to be anticipated as long term also in political level. So I'm inviting you to come and to defend with us the question of care and perhaps in a certain way the social vision of Europa, and to be here in numbers, to be here, elected people, administration, representative people of association is very, very important to govern the MATs to develop an action, a reflection about the time, the right to time, and to propose some law to protect us, because we are, all of us, perhaps in the future, caregivers, and we know that there is a big problem about that if we are doing nothing. So come in Strasbourg and be welcome in November.
Thank you, Marina. We are looking forward to being in Strasbourg in November. So we move along the assembly. I would like to invite now Marta Junke as Secretariat of the network, who will explain a bit what we have done until now, this 2024, and more importantly, what are the planned activities for 2025. So I hope you can join. And sorry, technical issue, since we have some people following us from a streaming. I will appreciate it if you try to speak directly to the microphone so that they can hear it well.
Very good. Good afternoon to all of you. Good morning. No, let's focus well. Good morning to all of you. Yeah, thank you for being here, and also thank you for people that are joining online, which I know that is also some of you. So thank you very much. Today, after this inspirational speech of one of our main representatives of the network, that is Strasbourg, and we really want, on behalf of the Secretariat, we really want to say thank you for the work that Marina and her team are doing on being the capital of World Time Policies 2024-2025. We wanted to share with you some slides of what we have been doing. Basically, we will present, I can see the slides there. Thank you. Basically, we will present what we have been doing. We will also later move to what we are going to do in 2025. And after that, we will decide on the board. Okay, on the board to be the board of the network for the next 2 years. Here is a summary of the activities that we did in 2024, and I will not go too much into the activities because you all know, because you have participated to them, but the good news is that we had a plan and we have achieved the plan. Okay, when you have activities to do, it's good to see if you are doing them, and that has happened, but I want to focus a bit on the results. That's why we together with the board that we met last week, and we have been working together in the last months, we prepare some results. The first one is that in this year, in 2024, we got a higher visibility and recognition. Just to give you an example on this higher recognition for the time policies and the network, is that we were awarded with the World Government Summit Innovation Award. This is the prize. This is the award that you have here, and we were very happy to represent the network and to get this award from the summit. The summit was celebrated this year in Dubai in February, and we were very happy that they were recognizing the innovation aspect of time policies. I leave it here, and later, if you want, you can take pictures with them outside, okay? Because I think that is a word for all the network. Also, in this of increasing visibility and recognition, as you can see, we also went into major newspapers, urban newspapers, as Bloomberg City, one of very well-known newspaper, especially in America, and also in Eurocities, explaining about time policies. So, again, every time policies are getting more visibility. The second thing that we have achieved altogether is that we have identified and published more than 50 good practices on time policies. That's what we call like local and regional time agenda. And this year we have published 2 chapters of these good policies. One that links between time and democracy and participation, and basically exploding this relationship. If we don't have time for ourselves, we have no time to participate into community activities, and this affects our democracy. And the second local agenda that we have presented and published is about the urban night time policies. Those publications are in the website. You can see it. Most of you has collaborated with them and were presented during the year in a webinar online. The third thing that we did, and here you can see Marina and Sylvia and her team that are following us online, is to continue the project of the World Capital of Time Policies, giving this handover between Bolzano in Italy to the current capital of time in Strasbourg. So we are happy to see that this project of the World Capitals is already in its 3rd edition, and today we will vote for the next capital of time. We celebrate the first summer school on time policies, a more dynamic, more workshops, to learn about new time tools. And this happened in Barcelona last June, which most of you participated. And also it was the first edition that happened online, where we managed to get different publics, different citizens, especially from around Europe, that were interested to know where was time policies. Also, we added new members to the local and regional time government network, and we are very happy to that. We have a new region, and we have different municipalities, as for example, Buenos Aires, that I know that they wanted to be here today, but they couldn't. So we have new members that have joined to the network. Also, an important part of our work as a network is to lobby, to generate awareness on the key supra-local stakeholders into committing to them policies. And that's why we are happy that in the Declaration of Barcelona, we have new members joining to us. And also we did the campaign TikTok Europe, that we call for the members of the European Parliament to sign a pledge to commit to time policies. We are happy to know that there are members of all the political parties represented in the European Parliament, all the political groups of the European Parliament. There is at least one representative of them that have committed to that, except the extreme right, which were not invited. And last but not least, we also ensure the financial sustainability of the network, because as well, we all have amazing ideas, but if we don't have money to make them possible, sometimes it's more difficult. So we are very happy that we signed an agreement with the Catalan institutions, with the Generalitat de Catalunya, Barcelona City Council, Barcelona Metropolitan Area, and Barcelona Provincial Council, to give certain sustainability to the network until 2025. And also, we won a new European project that is Time for All 2.0, that for the European parliaments will allow that we can exchange and travel around Europe to learn. And last thing that we did this year, as you can see, we did quite a lot of work, is that we have updated this brochure that you probably have at your folder. And this is a brochure explaining what is the local and regional government's time network, what we do, and what we can offer. This is important for you, but it's also important if we want to get new partners to be part of the network, that you have something to explain them. Also, in our website, we are updating regularly all the good practice that you are sharing with us, and you can find them in the website. So that's what we did so far. And I want to congratulate especially the Secretariat team, with its part Ariana Way, that is here, Marc Martorell, and myself, but also especially the hard work done by the board members that have been working and supporting these activities. Now that we talk about 2024, it's time to look what we want to do next year. And here there is several objectives that we want to discuss with you. We will do an open floor later, so if you have any comments on that, please take note and we can discuss it together. The proposal that we have discussed with the board is that we are proposing that the local and regional time network has mainly three main objectives. The first one is to enhance influence on time policies and about the network. So we want to recruit more local and regional members to join to the network, and we want to ensure that all the members that are part of Time for All are also part of the network. Okay, it seems simple, but we still do not have that. Also, we want to lobby with the key supra stakeholders to make sure that the right to time is in their political and social agenda, and we want to give continuation to the project of World Time Capital. Regarding the second objective is to learn. We are here, most of us, to learn on what's new on time policies. And basically what we will do is learn and implement time policies to improve the well-being in cities and in regions. And to do that, what we are proposing is basically two sub-objectives, that is analyzing the new data and learning and promote new time policies, and also develop new narratives. And here there are cities as Milano, for example, which are working very much on the narrative between the relationship between time policies and climate change and climate emergency. So we want to learn from these new narratives that time policies can have an impact too. And last but not least, as I said at the beginning, and that's very important, we want to ensure the sustainability of the network. And for that, we want to find a more streamlined way of working. I will develop a bit more on that. We want to establish a legal entity. That's a proposal of Pedro Martin, who is here, and who always say that we need to have a legal entity formalized as a network so we can sign additional contracts. And we also want to secure additional fundings when possible. Okay? After the discussion with the board, we don't see feasible at the moment, we don't see feasible the proposal of having memberships for the members of the network. So therefore, the board proposes the following streamlined working plan to make that sustainable. First, to define a clear vision of roles and responsibilities, and on the second, focus on those activities that add more value to the network, but also are self-funded. Which is the roles and responsibilities between the members of the network? The Secretariat basically will focus on the role of organizing the annual assembly. We will organize 3 board meetings per year. We'll give support to the Time World Capital, and we'll manage the project Time for All 2.0 while maintaining the communication tools and the web space and continue with the advocacy of the network. The board role that is proposed is to propose and contribute with the proposal of new members, also proposing and finding new opportunities of funding, advocacy the network, and of course participating in the board and the assembly. And regarding for the members that are the ones that are here, as well, the role that you have is to participate in the activities, to participate especially in this annual assembly, and doing advocacy in the network wherever you go. For the capital of time policies, we will formalize what is already being done, that the capital will act as a spoken person. This year, every time that we had a big interview, we always were giving the contact of Marina Lafay, as she was the responsible of the capitality this year, and next year we will do the same with the capital. So as well, they can see different speaking persons depending on the year and showing our diversity. We'll organize the activities of the Capital of Time, and we'll organize an international meeting awareness. This is the proposal that we are doing. Again, colleagues, we are waiting for your feedback on that later on. And we will focus on those activities that, as I said, are adding more value and are self-funded. This means we will appoint our World Capital Time policies 24, 25, and 26. We will learn from the completion of good practices with the local and regional agenda. We will do 2, 1 each year. We will participate on the Time Academy, which will be online, to learn more about innovation tools and innovation narratives related to time. And we will do the first global Time Citizen Awareness Campaign. We want to work all together to generate awareness on the importance of time policies. Okay? That's what we are proposing to do. We participate in the General Assemblies, and also we will visit, especially for the Europeans, we will visit successful case studies on different cities. All of that looks very nice, but I know that you want to know when we will do that, and these slides we will share with you, so don't worry. But the idea of the working plan for 2025, having said what we said, is that at the beginning of next year, we'll start with the Capital of Time policies, but then we will do a European Time Academy around June, July, online, so everybody can participate. And then at the end of the year, we will meet here in Barcelona for the General Assembly and for visiting good practice, and we will prepare the local and regional time agenda. And in 2026, we have a more busy year at the beginning of the year, that it comes with time case visit in Rennes or in Strasbourg, we will see regarding mobility. We want to learn how to improve the mobility in our cities. We will do a Time Citizens campaign kickoff, as I said, no? The idea of having a citizens awareness campaign. We need to check these timings with the French elections. I know that some of you has already raised awareness on that. French municipal elections, and we will present the time agenda number 6. And at the end of the year, again, we will have a general assembly. And last but not least, as I said, one of our objectives is that the European Parliament starts regulating right to time and including in their resolutions. So by the end of the year of 2026, we will come back to Strasbourg to put in the agenda again the right to time and to see the commitments that we have agreed now with the European Parliament, how they are going. So colleagues, that's all for now. The idea of now is to open the floor and to listen to all of you and to listen your comments about the work plan that was presented. Thank you very much.
So if you have any question, please or comment, please raise your hand, or everything is super clear. Ideas. No? Marta, you explain it too well, and here there are comments.
I don't see the slide before where you present the objective, but that was this question of the data, the necessity to collect more data and reflection about data that we have here today. I would like to say as a political level that we don't need some data like if we are researcher in socio-demographic. I think we need sometimes some simple data to, for instance, how many people suffer from lag to time. But also at politician level, we like the numbers also. How it costs, how we gain. And perhaps the cost, if we don't improve the time policies, for care, for instance, perhaps in long term it will cost a lot. So we need that also. Question of money, how we gain with time policies. Because actually there is inflation, we have not money in our city and each level, national level, and so we have also to prove with the data that to conduct time policies is not so expensive, that in long term it will be perhaps very interesting. We gain in wellness, in care activities and in rights also, but we gain also perhaps in the financial aspect. We have to prove it in particular of the question of health. There is also, I think, at our national level some data for that, but we have to extract it to prove also that it's very conduct time policies is not so expensive, and in the contrary can be very interesting. That is the data that we need, I think, at political level to convince to go further.
Thank you, Marina.
I just questioned about what Marta. Thank you very much for this presentation, but. I wonder about the European Time Academy, because it does not exist at this moment. What you understand, what you mean by the European Time Academy? Because we had this project with Ulrich Wickenberger. We have tried to get some support from the European Commission to build European Time Academy, but we did not succeed. Perhaps you have another idea? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We can collect all the questions and maybe later had a question? No? Okay.
I'm sorry for being the third French person to contribute. I wanted to add something or contribute to the climate change reflection. I feel that as a network, we might benefit from going back to the basics on that issue, because it's not so much, I mean, for Strasbourg and what we think about right now, it's not so much about knowing the new ideas that our partners have, but the way societies are structured or public services are organized elsewhere according to the weather, the heat in the summer. And I feel that as a network, we might have to put some focus back on how we manage time in every city, every country, according to the weather in terms of, I mean, public services open for, we are considering closing some public services in the middle of the afternoon, but maybe we have to benefit from I don't know, Spain understanding of sleep deprivation, as we talked last year. And those things, those topics, I feel that we are talking in the informal times, in the meetings, which is already good, but maybe we would benefit from comparing the structure of our societies and public services to more understand what would be more effective to import from places where you have to manage that kind of issue and materials. Yeah.
There's another. Maybe we do a first round of answer, or no? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I'm Cécile Roth from United Cities and Local Governments. Not really a question, but just like something to contribute. Regarding the sort of timeline and also the advocacy side, I was thinking that it would be great to look forward on how we can partner around international milestones for next year, such as the Beijing +30 celebrations. I think there is much to do around like everything related to inequalities, gender-based inequalities, and also thinking of the World Social Summit, which will focus on poverty, social inclusion, etc. So many moments where we could see what we can do like together and with everyone to visibilize the role of local governments and the importance of time policies.
Thank you very much. Any other? Go ahead.
If you want, I can, but I think that this is an open space. I can answer as any member of the board. So if anyone from the board wants to answer from my side, feel free to do it. First, I forget to do it, so to say welcome to the UCLG, did I say it well? That is the United Local Authorities Congress. You will say it better than me. Can you say it exactly? United Cities and Local Governments, that it's the main network of cities around the world, and they become part of our network. So we are very happy to have this collaboration. So welcome, Cecile and all the team. Starting for your question, I think that one of the things that the board can do in the next years is to identify and make a proposal to share with all of you, which are the key awareness events where we want to push for explaining what is this network and what are time policies for local and regional cities. So if we do that, I think that perfectly the two events that you mentioned, it's a place where to go to do this awareness, and it will be good that someone from the board, probably you are already going, some of the cities, can be our ambassador there to do it. So I think that this is a first thing that we can do to implement one of the objectives that we were saying. Regarding the topics that you were saying, Julien, I think, and we will see, we have new members of the board entering, and they are very much bringing a new narrative between time policies and climate sustainability. So I think that this could be one of the locals and regional agendas that we can focus next year, or 2025 or 2026, like the relationship between public services, time, and heat, right? And developing a narrative here, working with experts, but also working with your cities, what you are doing. Regarding the question of Marina, do you want to say something about that?
All right.
Okay, again me, sorry. Yes, I want to react because I'm thinking. You see that there is some event face-to-face, like today, and also some workshop online. And I was twice this year to present our activities in this workshop, and I would like to say that was very good organized. It's online also. I remember this workshop about night policies, what very interesting. There was London, for instance. It was, thank you for that. It was incredible, the example of London. But to Julien precise the question of sustainability, it's our also common problem for all of us, naturally. And I think perhaps we have to think about that, the balance to find between the online and the face-to-face. Perhaps we can also inform all of us the carbon impact. Also, in Strasbourg, after a trip, we make some mathematics to inform the team my own carbon impact, and with a limit that can be good also. I think the necessity to be face-to-face is very important because it is also dialogue, friendship, and link between us. That's very important. But it's more interesting when we combine that to discover in the city where we are some example of a realization. For instance, I haven't precised it, but when you will come in Strasbourg, if you arrive early on the Thursday, we will propose you to visit some realization about time policies directly in the city that can be better also, because of course that justifies the travel to see directly, and that's also a good opportunity to create links and dialogue, but with a view of operational aspects. So we have perhaps to combine the both, but to think about the question of sustainability.
Perfect. Marta.
I think that's an amazing idea and a good opportunity to see how real things are happening. No? That sometimes we don't need so much conference and we need more the feet on the ground. So that can be very useful, Marina. And answering the two questions that I think that were left, Marina, regarding the data, that's the need that many politicians level are you telling us, no? Like, let's find certain data that we can compare around Europe. And the bad news of this morning was saying that the time use survey will not be comparable until 2027. So we need to look for some alternative sources that we can compare a bit our cities how we are. And that's exactly what we want to start doing for the awareness citizen campaign. So you can give data to your citizens on how time policies and how time is in their own cities. So I think that that's a very good idea, Marina. And Jennifer, regarding the last question on Time Academy, last year in Barcelona, and you have Blai and Laura here, they organized the Time Summer School face-to-face, and we saw that it had a very good evaluation from the participants, and also the online part, also it generated quite a lot of attendance online of new people. That's why we say that the idea is to start creating all this knowledge between same name that will be Time Academy, where all people can access there and get their tools. Initially, this will be virtual because it's the funds that we have, but as we said, if there is additional budget, if any city wants to hold the Time Academy face-to-face, as Barcelona did last year, it will be more than welcome as well from the board. Any additional comments? Maybe Blai, Laura, do you want to comment anything about the Barcelona Time Summer School, your evaluation, how it went?
Thank you, Marta. We have nothing prepared, so first I would like to thank you for being here. Our impression is that we had a nice, wonderful time, but also it was an opportunity to learn about new insights, new ways of looking at time. And for Barcelona itself, which is what I can talk about, it had some impact on how we are developing new methodologies and how we are addressing the lecture of the time survey that we are expecting. So even from our point of view as organizers, we are happy with the results, also happy with how many people were attending, and especially hopefully we are hopeful that you enjoyed as much as we have. That's
Thank
all.
you,
Thank you,
Blai, to react so quickly.
So if there's no more questions, we continue this assembly with a more formal part of it. As Marta announced before, we have to vote a new executive board. So I will give the floor to Marta again so that she can present with the candidates and we can formally vote it.
Very good. So again, I'm going to share my presentation of before, just to explain who were the members of the current board and who are the proposal of new members. As we have good news, because it will be a proposal that will combine experience plus renovation. So that's how the organizations work. So if it's possible to have my previous PowerPoint, I will present the members. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not sure I took something. Okay, this is the proposal, yes, so let's not check the proposal yet. First of all, this is the current members of the board. As you know, the Secretariat is by the Time Use Initiative, the representative of the regions and cities with more time policies from Catalonia and Spain is Barcelona City Council, from France is the Municipality of Strasbourg, from Italy is the Municipality of Bolzano, and from Latin America, our representative was Bogota City Council. And also we have key entities invited for the role on time policy, the historical role that is Tempo Territoriale and German Society for Time Policies. This is the picture of 2 years ago, okay? And I'm happy to see that a lot of people are still part of the network, but there was some turnover. And this is the picture of the last meeting that we had as a network, or the one in June. And with this board, we met between 3-4 times per year, and we take the decisions that need to be taken during the year. So first of all, I would like to give a big thank you and to the hard work that has been done by the board during the last 2 years, because without you, that was not possible, and the network is evolving positively. Thank you to your efforts. So thank you very much to all the members of the board. And now we are moving forward, and as I said, we are glad to present a proposal that effectively combines experience with innovative strategies and narratives regarding time policies. And these ones, I will focus to present the new ones, and I will ask them to come here at the scenario and explain why they want to join and what is their vision. As a representative of Italy, the new representative will be Milan City Council, which we are very happy to have in. Bolzano, instead of being representative of Italy, will represent the small and medium towns and also the regions, all the regions that are doing time policies. And here we have Bolzano. And also we will have this representative of regions that will be the region of Bolzano, that is South Tyrol, Alto Adige. So I will call I will start for Bolzano, for Angelo Giannacaro, which is responsible there. Ariana, you can present that you have the formal title better than me.
I didn't, well, maybe Angelo will have to correct me. But Angelo Giannacaro, councillor at the region of South Tyrol, Alto Adige, and please correct me if the chart is not correct.
Now we will listen to them and then we will all vote if we accept this proposal or not. Welcome.
Thank you, Marta. Good morning. It's an honor to have been invited to this assembly today. It's past 2 years, but my English is always the same, Marta. Also, I read my discourse. I have had the pleasure of being part of the network and of working with some of you over the past years as councillor and representative of the municipality of Bolzano. Now that my political role has changed and I am part of the region of Trentino Alto Adige, it is my intention to continue working on time policies. The concept on time policies is quite complicated to understand, and first, so I intend with my capabilities to spread the word and try to involve other municipalities in Trentino Alto Adige. It is my plans to invite other municipalities and entities of my area to take part in the network very soon. Being part of a larger organization also allows me to work on different issues and practices that need to be addressed and developed more widely and that cannot work if handled individually by different small entities. My role right now is more strategic. It relies more on coordination rather than on the development of the new practices. It is my intention to be able to involve not only the province of Bolzano Südtirol, but also the province of Trento, which currently has no law regulation time policies now. If you are not familiar with our region, it is important to explain to you that it is a region composed of 2 autonomous provinces. Part of this area was previously part of Austria. The union of these 2 provinces makes this region unique. It almost acts as a bridge between Italy and Austria. We are in fact part of Euregio, in which the Tyrol region is also included. My responsibilities at the Regional Council relate to the promotion of European integration and the provision of special activities of regional interest. I think joining this network is a great first step towards these 2 goals. I am thrilled to be able to say that I am part of a whole that works to improve our society step by step. I look forward to seeing this network grow and working together with you on interesting projects. My wish is to have a role on the board as a representative of regions. I very much hope to bring new ideas and an enriching point of view to the future decision on this project. Special thanks go to Marta, Ariadna, and Mark of BTU for coordinating so well, and to Bergamo for the submission of the New Times for All 2.0 project. That part of the network has been awarded. I sincerely hope that soon all participants in the different projects will officially become part of the network so that we can work harmoniously and have more and more participants to take inspiration from in the development of time policies. Thank you for your time.
So I would like to ask our representatives of the city of Milan, Sergio Danelluti y Susanna Multeni. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you, everybody. As you know, Milan municipality has been committed with time policies since early 90s, approaching them from different point of view, going through different policy seasons. And now we are, as someone has said, we are considering time policies as a key tool for approaching sustainable development and to face environmental challenges, but also to deal with work-life balance issues through our aspect of for employment. So we are very glad to join the executive board, if yes, to move forward and to contribute with others to the debate with a more active engagement in the network. So now I give the floor to Sergio for
So Susanna is the technician on time policies. I would like to give a broader view of what it means for Milan to join this network. Especially the crucial thing, it's not because we are here, but the crucial thing is Barcelona. You might not know that our mayor has been invited to Barcelona on the 6th of November for the Smart City World Expo. He has been invited by your mayor. I would like to say that we share a number of European projects and commitments with Barcelona. We both participate in Eurocities, we both participate in C40, and there are other networks such as Champion Mayors for Inclusive Growth that also see both cities participating. We collaborate on various European calls. I don't know this myself. I asked my international relations department for the Horizon project, for the Horizon 2020 Green Deal, for the Horizon Europe, and for the CERV, as in this case, but there are other CERVs. The objects of our collaboration are especially urban renewal, digital transformation, social innovation, sustainable food in schools, climate change adaptation, gender equality, and smart mobility. Quite a few of our deputy mayors come and go from Barcelona to Milan, and important figures in Barcelona government also come to Milan often. So it's important for us to keep this partnership alive and to join this further network uniting Milan and Barcelona. Of course, we are interested in being more and more international, and this is the kind of partnership that benefits both, and of course, through the other joining cities as well. What we plan to do, we have been asked by Marta to do it, of course, is to try to spread the word of this initiative to other Italian cities, especially the major ones that we're in contact with. And for this, we shall be gathering some material from this meeting and previous material, and we will send a promotional package to these cities. That will not guarantee their interest, but we are trying anyway. And we will be trying on another level as well. We will be trying on the level of our twin cities in Europe. We will also try through our international relations department to communicate this initiative to others, as we are convinced that this is useful and necessary, and we believe that most large and medium cities in Europe should be interested in these matters. So thank you for everything. For the time being, we are participating because it's a long story actually. Milan approved the Time for All 1 project, and it was another department that approved it, not ours. It was the mobility department. After a while, we took over for some reason, which is too long to explain here, and we are the ones that are following it now. So we are also going to approve and participate in Time for All 2, and we have been asked to join the board, and of course we are doing it. We like the idea, and we hope we can contribute usefully to this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this introduction and, more importantly, for this plan you already have in place to involve many, many more cities. So now it's the time to formally vote the new board with these new 2 additions. I will ask everyone that is a member of the network to just raise your hand if you are in favor of the new board. I see everyone with a hand up. Great, so welcome officially. And you want to welcome officially to the board. And so we continue this voting process with another important project within the network, which is the World Capital of Time. We are very happy to announce that we have the candidacy of Bogota City Council for 2025. We're very happy. I hope it happens and everyone agrees, because we will move outside Europe for the first Latin American World Capital of Time. So I would like to welcome Pamela Quiñones to the stage so that she can present the candidacy for Bogota City Council.
Ahí, ya.
First of all, I would like to say that I'll be speaking Spanish on behalf of all the women doing unpaid caregiving work in Bogota and who have led us to become the World Time Capital for 2025. First, I'd like to tell you that in Bogota, time use policies have a gender approach, a gender-based approach. We have a specific public policy since 2003. It seeks to acknowledge and safeguard and reinstate the rights of women living in the district of Bogota within all their differences and diversity. In addition to this, we have the conceptual framework guiding strategies to ensure that policies are not regressive for women across the board in Bogota, the district that includes the capital. 8 particular rights were identified, cross-cutting rights for our governance approach. The right to peace and coexistence with gender equality, the right to life free of violence, the right to participate and have a representation on an equitable basis, the right to work in equal conditions and dignity, the right to full health, the right to education with equality, the right to a culture free of sexism, and the right to decent housing. So, and to habitat. So we wanted to explain how everything is made cross-cutting in all of our policies. We are the Secretariat for Women, but every plan implemented in the city is considered and influenced. Within all of these rights, we have the district system for care. The district system for care focuses on sorting out ways to address the needs of women who are doing unpaid care work. In order to do so, there was a three-pronged approach. First, to assess the needs. Out of the 9 million inhabitants of Bogota, half are women. 1.2 million women are providing unpaid care work. And so, given this context, we thought we had to have specialized services for them, services with a gender-based approach, services that would provide them with time for themselves, the same way that they are providing their time to care for others. Having mapped all of this, we spoke to grassroots movements, women's movements. We listened to their needs, we listened to their demands, and this led us to the second prong, which was to map our ability to provide service. We mapped the existing services in the city, we mapped facilities, we mapped breathing spaces, public spaces, access roads. And this led us to the third prong, setting priorities. And that's where Bogota became a city that used time use policies. Our criterion was time for women. We didn't address poverty within the 20 local councils within the district of Bogota. We looked at time, at women's time in each of these towns, and so we prioritized on that basis. And this is how we created the district care system. It's just a different form of spatial management where time uses become apparent in terms of which facilities are available within a 20-minute walk for women. This articulates our policies, programs, and projects together with services delivered to the community. It addresses the care needs of homes in Bogota, and it's supported by the state, the district, the community, civil society, and private business. Within this system, we identified 3 objectives, the 3 R's: recognize, redistribute, and reduce. Recognize the work done by women, the care work done by women, redistribute the burden of that care between men and women on equal terms, and reduce the care time spent by women on this type of care. So we mapped the population we wanted to reach out to, and we focused on a 2-pronged sort of service with women caregivers at the heart, at the center. There are many different types of care work, of course, but we needed to focus to be more efficient and effective. And so we decided to focus on women under 14, people caring for people under 14, elderly people, and people with disability. We want to reach the population at large, men, families, and caregivers themselves. Within the care system, we have different components depending on the profile of the person getting the services. People who care for people who care, for women who care, are given training and they're given income. Caregivers are offered the same kind of care that women are providing, as well as a cultural transformation in order to change the imaginary in our society. Once we had done our conceptual mapping, we considered how to roll it out in space, how to reach out to women in their neighborhoods, in their homes, and that's how we created our operational model. There are 3. 1 are care city blocks. We love them. What are they? Well, they're the map that I told you about earlier, the 20-minute walks for facilities, but just with a with a purple lens to look at them, from a purple or a purple perspective. And then we had the care buses. That was a second prong or a second approach. Why do we have care buses? Because we have large facilities, but some women couldn't reach them because they had difficulties accessing them, getting there. So we go out to where the women are. We go out to parks where women are caring for their children, and we offer them those kinds of services. These care buses are transformers, we call them. They're like tourist buses, but then they expand so that you have a hall inside them where we offer the same kind of thing. We offer training, we offer a break in nearby parks, or we offer the ability to make some income. The third approach is providing help or support at home, in the home. After creating the city blocks, after creating the buses, we realized there was a residual group of women who are caring for people with disabilities and who could not leave their houses to access any of those other options. And so Bloomville Philanthropies has an award, and we won the award with our district care system. And so we were able to use the award to bring those services that we're delivering in the city blocks and in the buses to women's actual homes. So that way, the woman can set her priorities for time. She can decide whether she wants a break, whether she wants training, or whether she wants to earn an income while we provide care for her care recipients. And so it is the woman who recovers her own time and decides what to do with it. This is the care block, that famous design, the care block. Why is a care block a part of a time use policy? Well, this is the ideal care block. It is within a 20-minute walking distance. We have services delivered to citizens with a gender perspective, and services are provided to women, including, for instance, legal advisory services. Women can go there, ask about their needs. There's a female lawyer and a female psychologist offering their services in case the woman needs to learn perhaps about gender violence, whether she's experiencing gender violence, and it's created as a safe space. We have discovered that women usually reach us through typical services such as this. They won't go to a police station to report gender-based violence, but they do come to this kind of facility and ask whether what's going on in their home is gender-based violence. So we can advise them and inform them while we provide care for the women's care recipients. So we care for those who are giving care. We have a strategy for children where we try to abolish gender stereotypes, where we teach them colors are just colors. It's not a matter of blue for girls and pink, blue for boys and pink for girls. Or we also tell them about domestic violence if the children are experiencing that, and we tell them some simple tips about that. When a woman reaches one of these blocks within 20 minutes of walking distance from the home, they might access medical services after dropping their children off at school, or they might access some other kind of municipal service. These are 20 minutes walking distance using sidewalks or walking lanes or community spaces such as parks, or even cycling lanes. We also have fairs where women can provide the results of their entrepreneurial work. these care city blocks have a twofold care angle. We care for those you're caring for, and we care for those who are caring. And we're not just some kind of drop-off point for children. We need to provide the possibility for women to take a break, but also to receive training. And this is also a time-use policy in terms of the proximity designed into it. In 2023, we institutionalize this on a citywide basis. What does that mean? Well, it means that the system was designed as a citywide commitment for all, not just a governance decision by an individual mayor. The idea is that the system is meant to remain whoever is elected. And so the District Secretariat for Women, which I represent here today, is the one that coordinates the system, because nobody can deal with women better than people who have a gender-based approach and knows how to work with them. This does not mean that we don't need everyone in the district to deliver the services. Our best partner is the Secretariat for Social Integration. We have to acknowledge this. This is the Secretariat that has the majority of facilities. This is the Secretariat that provides social services and social work. And it has been the one that has immediately understood that women require special services. We also have support from the Secretariat for Health, for Tourism, for the Environment, and for Sports. They're the ones lending most of the break areas for yoga, exercise, and art and others. We also have training for flexible education and also development of ways of earning an income. So you might ask the following. Well, there was a new mayor, the system was institutionalized. So what is so innovative about this? How are women considering the way of continuing to care for those who care? Well, for the next period, we have 4 major commitments. One of them is community-level care, because we came to realize that we were not reaching women in rural areas because access was difficult. These rural women don't come into the city for services, so we go out to where they are. How do we do this, considering the resources needed? We will be linking up with community care networks and grassroots communities that are already present in the rural world. We're going to meet up with them. We're going to have gatherings with them. We know that the needs in rural areas are different, and we will be bolstering them through resources, through formalization, through training, in order to continue delivering services to women in that setting. Second, we will have moving services, roving services. I'm very proud of this. This was my idea. There are 2 strategies. One, a break, another, training. The break approach will be delivered in a football stadium, the biggest stadium in Colombia, and this is, of course, usually associated with male leisure. We will be working with women supporting the football teams, while the women are in the break area of the football stadium. We will be working with the children within our strategy of building or weaving worlds of equality. And we'll see how this strategy works out, and we will try to make these roving services become safe spaces because there will be safety there, women will be able to report that they're experiencing violence in a way that does not make them targets for attack. Another roving service is the training service. We came to realize that within our city care city blocks, we were providing training, but we weren't providing professionalization types of training, because we couldn't. And so that is why we reached out to universities. It's important to work both with the public sector and with the private sector. So we're working with public universities and private universities. Again, on a simultaneous basis, when women are taking their final exams, we will turn up with the kaleidoscope so that they can become professionals, and we will be working with the children to transform them. And then we also have a prong that is strategies for cultural transformation with a gender perspective. We cannot win this war without involving men. We cannot create a city block like this one in every single city block in Bogota. That's what women are asking for. You know, can you bring the bus over more often? Can you have more of these city blocks? We can't offer that. Every home should be a care city block. Every home should redistribute care work. Every home should reduce women's burden of care on an equal basis. And that's why we will be working with laboratories for redistribution, with laboratories for gender-based violence prevention, laboratories for prevention of sexual harassment in public spaces and public transport. That is something our mayor is very much committed to for this 4-year period. And lastly, then we have the OMEG, the Observatory of Women and Gender Equality. This is the basis for the data gathering basis for any decision making we might have. We will be monitoring our existing strategies, and we will work to see how we are changing relative to our baseline, which enabled us to set priorities. Lastly, well, not quite so much lastly, I'd like to explain why we want to be the time capital of 2025. What brought us here? Well, on the one hand, we recognize policies. Our secretariat has a gender perspective, or a gender-based approach, but the whole capital has time-use policies on gender equality, sustainability, organization of time, citizen services, and cultural offerings. We have identified internal ways of increasing co-responsibility and productivity.
Política.
And I'd like to highlight that nothing is possible without a political will, the will to set up the system of institutionalizing it and now moving it forward. With our new mayor, there is a very clear political will to continue with the system, but not just to want to continue, but also strengthen it and be innovative. So there will be resources in order to move forward and continue with the presence in our neighborhoods with a gender perspective. We also want to make the results more visible, the ones that have been obtained in our care blocks. We also want to have on the public agenda the relationship between care and the transformation of cultural attitudes and violence against women. We want to strengthen our international efforts with a gender perspective for the city, and we also want to incorporate new members in our network. We have many requests, requests for information. Cali wants to incorporate the system of care, and also Sierra Leone and others who want to replicate our care systems. Amongst our time policies in Bogota, we have our district system for care, stabilizing services. We have a cultural transformation strategy, the use of bicycles with a gender perspective, Bogota as an intangible heritage for bicycles, the knowledge of and the way we manage it, the use of technology for public management. And this is an innovative strategy that the district used in order to link the community and the citizens for working on specific proposals to include in the development plan. And also the main proposal, which came up in all the surveys, was how to strengthen the care, how we're going to maintain it, where is it going to be shared out, is it going to disappear? Of course, people had their concerns. So the strengthening of territorial services for health, both physical health but also mental health, preventing mental health issues and also physical health issues in women, so they have to spend more time looking after people. So there's prevention also in health, and also incentives for use of bicycles, teleworking, different entry times of work, self-care, and the cars which are used by the different workers, and the car sharing. And also, so you realize how long you spend on commuting. So if you go by bicycle instead, well, we give you some extra free time to make up for the time you spend going in by bicycle. And finally, I just wanted to show you this calendar we have of activities that are ongoing for the last few months in 2024, and also how we see 2025 with Bogota as a time capital. We have the different actions in our system, 21 care blocks, 23 care blocks that have been opened. We're going to open 2 more. By the end of the quarter, of the 4-year period, we want to have 29 with different types of facilities, and thus, too, for the mobility ones, they will also have our home assistance system. We have run out of Bloomberg funds, but we already know how to do it. We have our framework, so we're going to work at district level in order to implement it with our own resource. We also have the community care services, the cultural transformation strategy, mobility and heritage with the bicycle. We have 230 bicycle lanes that are used mainly by women. We have to make them safe spaces so that they can access transport and to those different public spaces. And finally, we have this cross-cutting perspective, which has to do with women and gender equity. This is an agenda that's now been in our city for 20 years, and we want to have create this international forum in order to showcase all our best practices over these past 20 years and the challenges, how we overcame the hurdles. We still have hurdles we have to overcome, and I'm sure we will, of course. And within this international forum, we want to dedicate one day on time use policies and Bogota as the time capital for Nigeria. So we'd like to encourage you to learn about our system, come to Bogota and accompany us at that forum. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Pamela, por esta exposición.
Thank you very much, Pamela, for this presentation and for telling me your plans, telling us your plans for 2020-25. And sorry, I went into Spanish automatically, but
Formal vote if all the members of the network agree that Bogota is the new capital for 2025. So I will ask for the same system of raising your hand. Thank you very much and congratulations. And we wanted to close this assembly by recognizing one of our oldest members that this year has 20 years as well. So maybe, you know, when Bogota started with the care policies, Tempo Territorial started also to promote time policies in France. So we wanted to give the floor to Jean-Yves. We have also Marina Lafay, who is the president. But we wanted to give the floor to Jean-Yves so that he can do a brief summary of what Tempo Territorial has been. Thank you very much.
Well. How does it work? He will... yeah, to advance this one. Okay. Yeah, but it's, I don't use that. Okay. Okay, yes, it's better like that. Huh? thank you to invite me to say something about this 20th anniversary of Tempo Territorial. We had an event 1st of October, last 1st of October. We were gathering all the members of Tempo Territorial and also friends, colleagues, and institutions who have supported this association, because it is an association. And I just want perhaps explain what is Tempo Territorial, because I think it's necessary for many of you don't know what is Tempo Territorial. As you know, time policies have existed since the late 1980s in Italy. But in 1994, there was a seminar which took place in Firenze, Florence, at the European Institute on issues of working time. And I was invited there to contribute on working time issue. And I met Ulrich Mückenberger for the first time, who is a professor who was at this time professor of labor law at the University of Hamburg, and who was in Florence for several months in a stay with Brian Berkeson, another very well-known labor lawyer. And they had a project of writing a book. But in this, during this seminar, during this meeting, a person came to us, and it was not an academic. So he came and said, I am Robert Villeneuve. I am a French representative of the CEEP, you know, is the European Confederation of Public Enterprises in Brussels. So, and he explained that he had obtained significant funding to conduct a research program on the development of local social dialogue, how to implement the local social dialogue, how to develop it. And we suggested, he was looking for ideas. What are the objectives of social, could be an objective for social dialogue? And Ulrich and I, we say, time. Of course, time. Time could be a relevant subject for local social dialogue. And we told to Robert Villeneuve that about the initiative in Italy, the Tempi della Città, who were developing at this moment, very, very much developing at this moment, in cities like Milano, of course, but also Bergamo, Pesaro, Cremona, and on a lot of projects. And a few weeks later, we met again in Politecnico di Milano, which is University of Milano, and to exchange ideas with Sandra Bonfiglioli, who was leading the urban planning department, and also with another person, Pierre Domergue, a French one, who has worked extensively on local development in France. And it was the starting moment for the program Eurexter, a program that was financed by the European Social Fund, and it was supported by CEP and also the ETUC, the European Trade Union Congress. And there was a lot of money, and these European funds has facilitated the chronotopic research conducted at the Politecnico di Milano, where Sandra Bonfiglioli was training young urban pioneers. And Marco Mareggi, who is here, was one of these students at this moment. And Sandra Bonfiglioli has, together with this young student, they have elaborated the time policy methodologies, you know, time office, ufficio di tempi, the quadrangular consultation table, chronotopic maps, and so on. So they also allowed for the organization, the funds we had from the European Social Fund, allowed for the organization of many seminars and conferences in several European countries like Germany, Spain, Asturias at this moment, not Barcelona, but it was the Asturias, France also, and the establishment of the first time office outside of Italy, which was in Bremen, Bremen-Vegesack, an area in Bremen. And then the contact we had, that Pierre Domergue, who was part of the Eurexter program, he had a contact in numerous local authorities in France, and this helped to raise awareness among elected officials and technicians about time policies in France. For instance, in Senlis, Poitiers, and two departments, La Gironde, and also in Paris. And but the Eurexter program concluded in 2000, and fortuitously, the DATA, which is a territorial planning agency attached to the Prime Minister in France, launched a call for proposal at this moment in 2000 for a prospective approach entitled Territory 2020. One of those issues of this program was time and territories, with expectation derived from our previous work on the time policies. And for instance, a book we have published with Ulrich Mückenberger at this time was La Ville à 1000 temps. And we were integrated into this prospective approach on the issue of time and territories, which provided us with funding again, but funding from France, for 3 years to disseminate time policies, principles, and methodologies in different cities in France. And starting in 2000, with these 4 pioneering territories, Saint-Denis, Poitiers, La Gironde, and the territory of Belfort, and also joined after by other cities like Rennes, Paris in 2001, and Rennes, Paris, then Metropole of, then Lyon, Brive, and so on. Many cities who were interested and who during the election of municipal election in 2001, they succeed to create the first. No, I will do that after. So this period is marked by, I think, in France, it was the hubris, you know, the hate of time policies at the national level in France, with a parliamentary report by Edmond Hervé, who was mayor of Rennes, and a French deputy also, and many books, many seminars, and the announcement by the Prime Minister at this time, Lionel Jospin, at the 2001 Créteil City Festival, expressing the government's intention to legislate for cities with more than 30,000 inhabitants, the establishment of a time bureau, a time office, Bureau des Temps in French. But however, this, after the presidential election in 2002, the support for time policies in France, this support for time policies came to a halt because the change of the government. And action and especially exchanges between local authorities continued in 2003 with another European program equal, but by 2004, we no longer had funding. So this is why we local authorities, members, we have created time officers, researchers, and others supporting local time policies. Supporters of time policies in France decide to create the Tempo Territorial Association in 2004. And I want to stress that the economic model of Tempo Territorial, which is an association, is very specific because it relies only on contribution from members, mainly the local authorities, of course, but also the individuals who support time policies. And it is, we have no external funding for this. So over the past 20 years, I just want to finish with that, Tempo Territorial's role has been to support and to raise awareness among its members and other local authorities about various initiatives taken at the local level in France, but also in other countries like Italy, for instance, or Spain. It has also led in-depth reflections on temporal time subjects through the Mardi du Temps, Tuesday of Time, which was an afternoon, a regular afternoon meeting with a contribution on a particular subject, time subject. And you can see here the number of Mardi du Temps. We had about 3 or 4 Mardi du Temps a year. So yeah, there is a lot with different subjects you can see there. And also the temporel. So the temporel is once a year, so we had now 20th session of temporel will be in Strasbourg, and you are coming there. And during this temporal or Mardi du Temps, we are exploring new temporal approaches, and all this meeting, I insist on that, resulted in publication. We have a lot of publication. And so the temporal, yes, it's about 20 editions. And the event of the last October, 1st October, brought together those who supported from the beginning the creation and continuation of Tempo Territorial. And during this day, we recall the histories that I have just delineated for you. And after this detour in the past, we introduced a moment of a prospective reflection with some researchers. And here you have the question was, I'm sorry, but for this Alain Guez, who is an urbanist, Sandra Mallet and Luc Gazinski, who are geographers, and also Benjamin Pradel. And the question, one of the questions was, what do you do with, if you have some time? For instance, at the end of this week, we will gain 1 hour. What we will do with that? And Alain Guez says, I take advantage of it. Sandra Mallet says, I tried to do less things in the same time. Luc said, I lost him, I lost it. And Benjamin said, I sleep. And it's more or less what we will do because it is in the night. Perhaps we can dance also 1 hour more. But then in the afternoon, we shifted to current initiatives aimed at giving concrete meaning to the notion of the right to time. Among them, we can mention 4. First, the action aiming at facilitating the mobility of those constrained in their movement, to give a bit more power over the time structures. For instance, what Hélène Révillard told yesterday about the peak hours, but also new plan for mobility involving several firms and so on, but also initiatives developed in Poitiers, Lyon, Lille to promote a new sustainable way to move. The second is promoting access to cultural facilities, for instance, by working on the opening hours of mediathèques, libraries, and so on, in Brive, in Lille, in Rennes, in Paris, extending opening hours in the evening or during the weekend. And also what we call the temporal urbanism approach from the perspective of shared premises, for instance, the polychronicity, for example, opening schoolyards to residents in Paris, in Lille. But I should say on this issue that we are still falling short of what has been implemented in the Netherlands during the 2000 first decade of 2000, for instance, the Vensterskolen, which is really something we should follow. Also, the nighttime initiatives, I don't come back because we had discussed about that, but also policies for adapting to climate change, for instance, nighttime opening of public parks, greening of schoolyards and other public spaces. And particularly, it's developed in Lille, in the European metropole of Lille, as part of a European program, which is the name of which is Time to Adapt. And the last issue was a 4-day week, which is experimented in the metropolitan of Lyon and also in Strasbourg in the form of compressed work week, which means that you reduce the number of days but not the number of hours, so you have longer days. And for now, this is a policy which aims at attracting skills that are less drawn due to lower wages compared to the private sector. And these experiences are limited in their scope because it's only for volunteer and the perimeter is not all the agents in Lyon, for instance. But currently, we lack the perspective to measure their effects. But I think that this represents the 4-day work week represents a mode of work organization that is tending to develop and raises questions for time policies to facilitate the use of free time and to also educate perhaps people to gain this day off. And what will they do? Will they have a sustainable consumption attitude, or will they continue to they will develop, for instance, auto production or things like that? But for now, this type of reflection remains in an embryonic state and deserves greater attention from the actors in time policies. And to finish, I want just to present, I don't know if it works. No, I wanted to present a map, but it doesn't work. A map of the different, yeah, I see. This is a map of the different cities involved in Tempo Territorial for the moment, and also around what are the other institutions who are supporting Tempo Territorial. That's it. Thank you very much.